Morning, everyone. My name's Kirsty Davis, and I'm the deputy at Crownbridge Special School. And I'm really sorry that I can't be there in person today. I'm delivering something for Welsh Government this morning, hence me on video. I am here today via video to talk to you around the Heart of the Community Award and how we sort of gained our accreditation, the process that we went through. And yeah, so here's our story. So we gained the accreditation last summer, and I think that through that process, I think that it was evident that we understand how important engaging in the school community is for our pupils. Without that community support and collaboration, we wouldn't be able to provide the experiences that enables our pupils to achieve on their educational journey. So just to put a bit of context around the school, we are the only special school within the borough of Torfaen. We have 130 pupils on roll. We're over 2 sites. So we've got a satellite site up at Pennegarm Primary School. We teach pupils between the ages of 2 and 19. We're currently, we should have 100 pupils on roll, but we're currently sat at 130. And we currently have an extension being built at the end of the building, which theoretically should take us up to 150 pupils. We've got a diverse range of pupils here with a multitude of needs that we support. And we've got a very big catchment area. And over 90% of our pupils arrive and leave school via school transport. So seeing pupils' parents on a daily basis is a challenge, but I think that we've got really tight, robust, secure communication channels. And if you speak to any of our parents, they all say that communication is a really, really strong point of the offer at Crownbridge School. So I guess it was sort of, I want to start with the why we engaged in the community sort of focused work that we did. We started this journey because as a school, we wanted to evaluate sort of where we were at in the journey, what we've achieved and how the work that we've put in place has improved the opportunities and support for the school community. And those themes that we really wanted to consider was, how can we prove that all this work has made a difference to our children and their families' lives and the community and the school? Have we made what we do visible? Have we generated support and developed partnerships? Has our work helped us focus on community empowerment themes, issues, initiatives and planned actions? And have we developed a far greater understanding of the needs of the school and the community and addressed the accountability issues? So that was kind of why we started our journey. They're the kind of questions that we kind of wanted to answer. So same as you guys, we've attended some sessions with Sue, and I think how we started this journey then was around the Pathway to Empowerment document. And I think we started this at a level where we were not going in with an idea of where we thought we were going to come out. We just wanted that kind of baseline of where we were. So we decided to go through and rag rate the document. Pink was we felt we had secure evidence of those points, and green was we have some. I think it would probably fair to say, and I hope that Sue will tell you about this, all the way through this process, I honestly thought that we were going to come at a bronze level. We weren't aiming for anything sort of higher. It was just about that process of gathering everything together to get that baseline, to focus on those next steps. But as we went through and we were gaining all that evidence that already lived here in the building, we didn't generate anything for this. We found that we had quite a lot of evidence that ticked quite a lot of those pointers in that document. I guess once we'd gone through the document, the focal point to look at then was, you know, that school development, the leadership around it. So I think when we looked at this, you know, it was very clear that Crownbridge focuses itself on designing and delivering a curriculum that fully meets the needs of the pupils. And then behind that was those strategies and development to aid families support their children, so that when they came into school, they were as ready to learn as they possibly could be. Staff are employed who can bring a range of experiences with them to enhance the provision at Crownbridge. And all staff then are deployed to classes or sessions which they have a skill set or interest in. And then professional learning is offered further at a bespoke level to enhance those skills. So in terms of, you know, the school development plan and equality plan, they all compile with regulations. And the school development plan, you know, it's clearly sets out how we're going to achieve our targets in relation to our priorities, and the resources that we have available to us. And when we were going through the process, that moment in time, that sort of family engagement and community engagement was very clear within the school development cycle. For example, one of the targets at the time was embedding the role of the family liaison officer. And I think it's also important to point out here, the school development plan isn't just created within this office. The school development plan is very much co-constructed. And the reason for that is it's that technique to involve families and communities within our development. During that co-construction, all stakeholders are involved in the planning and the development. And, you know, that plan then also accounts for developing staff professional learning in respect to community engagement. Throughout the year, we use parental surveys to try and ask some questions to see where the gaps are. So, for example, we always survey new starters. We always survey parents in the annual review process. We've also very much got an open door policy, and we ask lots of open questions related to support that parents would like to receive. And the school development priorities when we were going through this process was also around the strategic development of areas of the curriculum and wellbeing, and that closely linked to the recent Eston inspection. And, you know, it's not just leaders that have oversight of the school development plan. We have two governors, including a parent governor, who has responsibility for oversight and quality assuring of that school development plan. So from the school development plan obviously comes that sort of that curriculum, and in that curriculum we need to, you know, create and connect to the community. And I think it's widely recognised that having that multi-agency approach is important for supporting Crownbridge School, the needs of our learners and for the families who are often facing multiple issues. So whenever we start any piece of work, the starting point is always, you know, what is important for that learner, what is important to that learner and their family. And this is all sort of encompassed in a person-centred planning approach. And we know as a school that community partnership working supports the school's family engagement work, strengthening that individual and strengthening the school in other ways, enriching that school life. So, you know, it's always everything we do in terms of community is around that person-centred focus. So what does the curriculum look like in terms of community and family engagement? So, real life authentic context is key to the curriculum offer at Crownbridge. And, we've got pupils who are accessing the community learning weekly. So, for example, they're going swimming in the local stadium, or they're going horse riding in a local college. We've got some pupils who are accessing the comprehensive school next door for pre-entry and GCSE level work. We have pupils in our satellite site up at Pennegarn accessing the mainstream in Pennegarn on a daily basis. We've also got pupils who access work experience in our local community. And the reason that is such a strength is because those partnerships have been developed over time with local businesses. And the idea of that is the sharing of skills. So we get as much from them as they kind of get from us. Pupils also access the community, daily and weekly to practice their skills in local shops and cafes, and those skills around sort of literacy and numeracy. We've also got really strong links with the Dragons Rugby and the WRU, who come into school and deliver sessions weekly. And then we obviously go to Rodney Parade for sessions. And more recently, we've gone to the Principality Stadium as well. We've got strong links with therapeutic work. So we've got a pet therapy session weekly. We've got music therapy sessions weekly. We've got speech and language weekly, which is done through a service level agreement with the NHS. We're also a MOVE accredited school, the only one in Wales, Centre of Excellence. And as such, we've got MOVE accredited practitioners on site daily. So, we've scoped out that multi-agency work to enable to support our pupils. But it's really important that any of those sessions that are delivered by external agencies or with external agencies are always reflected upon. Are we linking to those agreed outcomes and then evaluated for impact in terms of pupil or family progression? So like I touched upon, part of that community engagement has allowed pupils to gain access to a range of qualifications. This has included Duke of Edinburgh, John Muir, AQA, ASDAN, pre-entry and GCSE levels. And this is all done through the courses that pupils access when they get to the tertiary department. So we often teach courses in-house to sort of harness those skills, and then we go out wider, broadening that skill base for our pupils. So, for example, we've got a school garden that's recently been expanded upon due to a community grant being acquired, where we'll be growing some food for the community, but broadening those skills wider. Pupils within that group then access other provisions in terms of gardening. So that could be local allotments, it could be farms. So that it kind of starts off small, but then it kind of gets bigger. Another one of those partnerships that Sue really, really likes is Cafe Goran. So we have a cafe within school that opens to the public on a Friday. And again, that's about broadening those skills. So pupils would have, practiced cooking, and they would have practiced things like setting up tables within that curriculum offer that we do in school. Then where, they would then have applied to Cafe Goran, filled in an application form through the literacy sessions. They'd have had an interview with the head teacher and a range of governors. They'd have gained their food hygiene award, which would then have allowed them to work within the cafe environment. Again, that's taken wider. We've had some pupils then who have had work experience in cafes in the local area. And they have then gone on to gain employment in that kind of service area after leaving sort of Crownbridge. We're also identified as a healthy school. We're a silver rights respecting school. We're platinum eco schools. And those awards were strongly shaped and guided by the Our Voice group. Now, our Voice group is sort of like our school council. And lots of work within that has been around sort of collaboration with community partners, and you will see a bit of that through my presentation a bit later on. We're also, in terms of community and sharing, I touched upon it earlier, we are the only centre of excellence for MOVE within Wales. MOVE is around those pupils who would be in wheelchairs and have got profound multiple learning difficulties, gaining access. So, using different pieces of equipment, not in isolation, but to enhance their educational experience. So, they could be in standing frames, and they could be sort of, have their tray on, and they could be doing a sensory experience then. They could be in their walkers and having races up and down the corridor. It's about, it's not just using that equipment for using equipment's sake. It's those real life authentic contexts that come with that. I touched upon Ree earlier on. She will absolutely go mental if she saw this photograph. I'm just saying. She is our family liaison officer. She's part-time, and part of the remit of this role is supporting families by kind of offering that one-to-one listening service, supporting with sort of any benefit forms, blue badge applications, bus passes, EMA applications. She also holds regular groups for families, and gives them, families and carers, opportunity to come and meet each other and to help them feel less isolated. She makes them feel supported, and she reassures them in times of need. She can also signpost them to other services where needed. She also plans and hosts and evaluates sessions, such as bespoke kind of Trinity protocol sessions, puberty and sensory workshops. She's recently also gained accreditation in Signet training and is planning on delivering bespoke sessions over the next academic year. We measure her impact through pre and post involvement questionnaires, which helps us kind of forward plan. And, I think her work was highlighted within the ESTA inspection we had, of the impact that she kind of had on those families. So I've got a blank slide, so I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to reshare my video of the school website. So I've talked about our family liaison officer. No, sorry, I've talked about our pupil voice, and I want to show you a piece of work that they did with Swansea University. So bear with me a second, and I will reshare my screen. This video, by the way, is available on our website. We've got our voice section. Let me share my screen again. Share. There we go. And I'll let the pupils take over for a second. So they're the kind of things that our school pupil voice group likes to get up to. That particular project was shared in one of Angelina Jolie's books, which they're incredibly proud of. And another project that they've done, which is related to access for play equipment in the local area, that was also shared in an additional book that she's kind of written about us in, which is great, and they're really proud of that. I'm going to share my screen again with you to finish off my presentation. I'm almost there, guys, I promise. So, you know, our pupil voice group is very much in the community, raising awareness of you know, needs and kind of community access. We were also recently really lucky that they were able to attend the Living Our Best Lives conference in Gwent, where they went to deliver in front of a range of professionals the work that they have been doing in terms of designing that park that I was talking about, and inclusivity, and that included access for wheelchairs, so like looking at wheelchair swings and things. So, you know, they very much like to make a noise, part of our local community, and this is recognised. So they're being asked to go to events now to speak, which is great. So I guess, you know, what is, I'm skipping there now, let's go from current slide. Sort of what's next for us then. So I guess, you know, it's about the fact that we realise that our school doesn't exist in isolation. We are that key part of a network of organisations that serve and support our local community. And by developing our community partnerships, school can utilise a great source of support that strengthens our pupils individually. So, you know, I think it's about taking that strategic approach to community partnerships and making sure you're planning in terms of fostering strong relationships, making sure that you've got agreed outcomes, and making sure you're pooling those resources where possible, and making sure you're evaluating for impact. You're not doing community work just for the sake of it. You're doing it because it has a greater impact on the pupils and the families that come to your school, but also that community out there. They're learning a lot from you as well. So I guess it's about sort of, you know, what is next for us. We're not finished on this journey at all. It's always about, you know, refreshing and refining our process and expanding our opportunities for community work. You know, me and Rhea are constantly looking through the new pathways, thinking about things that we can kind of try. And some have been a success and some haven't been, but it's about not giving up and going back to the drawing board and starting again. You know, we're very proud following this award to be part of Sue's strategic group, and be able to offer support to other schools that are kind of going through this journey. So I think I've run over my time by about 4 minutes. So I'm going to kind of wrap up now just by saying thank you for listening to me. And, you know, I'm happy for the team to share my contact details if you would like to kind of come in and see the kind of work we're doing or have a discussion, or if we can help you in terms of, you know, looking through that pathway and kind of baselining where you are, and celebrating all the success out there, because I think all schools are really good at engaging with their community for their pupils and for the wider community. I just think sometimes you don't realise how good you are. So sometimes that external eye looking at all that evidence that you've got is sometimes helpful. So thank you guys, and I hope you have a really great morning.